what's up, boss? You believe that? Hold on. Do you believe that? Doubt y'all and they ain't gonna be personal. You think let them say y'all and they ain't gonna get personal.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a wonderful afternoon. Wanted to wait until, of course, the goats over at DNVR finished up before I hopped on today. But want to say hello to a few people in the chat, some official members of the fellas. That's right, Tremaine Young, Bodie C, appreciate you guys' support. Excited to get into today's topic, but hey, there's always something to talk about here with the Buffs. Absolutely love it. And I just want to thank everybody who tuned in yesterday for my second collaboration with Adam Munster Tiger. Our plans to do that on a monthly basis, and loved how the mailbag went yesterday, and highly appreciative of everybody who tuned in yesterday afternoon for that. It really means a lot, y'all. So y'all hit that like, y'all let me know in the comments who's listening. Y'all know the format now. I got some things that I need to get off my chest, and then I'll take some of your questions and all that. So I'm pumped about this. Let me cut the music here. Dax, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing well. But today, wanted to cover Drelon Miller. He, first off, Zion, thank you, man. You know, I just, I had to get that cut, guys. I hadn't had a haircut since like around Christmas. And yeah, I mean, we probably took off about a good 2 inches up top. I can finally not wear a hat, although I love to wear hats. But, you know, hey, I'm doing the best I can. Now I just got to work on this beard a little bit. But I know that we've been talking about this a little bit this week, the wide receiver room, the running back room. Right now we got like 4 scholarship running backs, and I always forget. You guys keep reminding me, and this is why I'm thankful to have you guys here. Part of this whole thing is that you guys are like, David, you can't forget about Drelon Miller. He's a type of guy that could see some snaps at running back. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm always forgetting that this guy's a really special athlete. And so I wanted to give him some props, give him some attention. We'll go ahead and take a look at some of his high school highlights. Of course, he's going to be coming in here as a freshman. I think he is our highest rated receiver that we brought in this year. So, well, of course, from the high school ranks, right? But yeah, a really impressive athlete, a guy that reminds you of a special player like Deebo Samuel, or a special player for us here at Colorado a handful of years ago when I was at school, Laviska Shenault. So I think it's going to be great. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and we can kind of talk through Drelon Miller, man. Really exciting athlete. So hopefully you can see that all okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's have this roll. Okay. And you can see him up top. And I mean, just look at this type of play. This is Deebo Samuel type stuff, man, where he's grabbing that ball. And look, I mean, the camera can't even keep up with him to where it's like blurry as he's running down the sideline. Absolutely. Dex, thanks for this clarification. Cam Myhell ranked higher than Drelon. Okay. Gotcha. Nonetheless, both of them were recruited and rated very highly. But a guy that can stretch the field, Dex, or not Dex, Drelon can get down the field. He has that speed. And what I really like about him is, okay, like we're not seeing him take any snaps in the backfield or anything like this, but you see him, once he's got the ball in his hands, I mean, he really does kind of remind you of one of those athletes at wide receiver, or like a running back with the ball in his hands. He's a physical guy. Somebody who has, the power to run through guys, but also the speed to just separate, which is pretty unique. And I think we got a couple more here before I go to this other video, but you can see that Silsby, I mean, they just wanted to get the ball in his hands. Again, he's just a tank. I think he's over 6 feet, probably close to 190, 200 pounds, if I remember correctly. And he's the type of guy that I think we should experiment with, that Pat Shurmur should experiment with, putting him in the backfield with some sets. You know, we've talked a lot about Robert Livingston, about how he likes to have guys with versatility, right? Hold up. Let me pull up his junior tape. That was some of his games from his senior year this past year. Go ahead and pull up his senior tape here. Then I'll finish my thought. All right, here we go. But yeah, we've heard Robert Livingston talk about, okay, we want athletes on the defense that provide positionless versatility. You know, guys who can do multiple things. So that way, depending on what our personnel package is, the offense has a hard time identifying what we're going to be trying to do, because we got guys that can play multiple positions, multiple roles. They excel at multiple things. And let's talk about this on offense. I mean, we could easily have somebody like Drelon Miller, for instance, experiment with him at the running back position. So the defense might think, oh, hey, they're doing a 5 wide set, or they're going empty with like a tight end, or something like that. You know, they're going 5 wide in some sense, and that doesn't have to be the case with Drelon Miller on the field. He can be disguised as coming on as a wide receiver, but then motion into the backfield, take some snaps there. I would be highly interested in seeing if he can make this transition to, take this on, because if you got a guy like that can keep the defense guessing, that can force a defense to have an extra linebacker in there, even if it's not needed, or can force a defense to give you a really favorable box with going, 6 deep in the secondary, right? Something like that. That plays to our advantage with having not only a numbers advantage with the box, but in my opinion, having the best athletes on the field compared to the defense. But a physical guy, a guy who high points the ball, you saw that catch right there, an explosive athlete. And we've talked a lot about how, man, who is going to get the majority of the targets here in the wide receiver room? We're incredibly deep, which is an awesome problem to have. Hey, here's a little snap of him in the backfield. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Look at him juke those guys. Isn't that nice? I think that's great. But this is kind of how we can get some of our best athletes at the wide receiver position on the field a little bit more, because we don't necessarily have a very deep running back room right now. I would say that our best 2 running backs that we have right now are Alton McCaskill and Dylan Edwards. Obviously, we haven't seen Alton yet. Hasn't played in a while, outside of like 4 snaps for us this past year. And Dylan Edwards, while he is putting on a little bit of weight, a little bit one-dimensional in what he can offer right now. And so, Michael Welsh, true freshman, you don't want to put too much on his shoulders, but could see him in a spell role, as well as somebody like Drelon Miller. And, I forgot that we do also have Savion Wilkerson. I feel like he's, a back that can do a little bit of everything, but not necessarily a game-breaking athlete like some of these other guys that we have on the team are. And that's why I would be partial to making sure that these guys touch the field. If we do need to go 3 deep at the running back position, giving somebody like Welsh or Drelon Miller the opportunity to get on the field to see what they can do. I mean, look at how he just mosses those guys. Isn't that great to see? All right, taking a handoff from the I formation. You can see he's got some patience there. He wasn't just one speed and go, he demonstrated patience right there before he hit that hole hard. And I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a waste if we don't get creative with an athlete like this, especially early on. Like let's find creative ways to incorporate him into the offense. Let's not have him just be a traditional redshirt freshman. I mean, I feel like this guy can play, and we only recruited guys in this high school class that we felt could play year one, maybe exception of a couple guys, but we didn't bring in any wide receivers here that I think were expected, to be long-term developmental prospects. These are guys that can step on the field and contribute year one. And yeah, y'all got to remind me, is Drelon on campus right now? I can't remember. I want to say yes, but I really have no idea. So I'll get to some of your comments, but you guys can see, I guess, before I get to that, you can see how special of an athlete he is, okay? Is he the most versatile weapon on our offense? He very well could be. I would love to see him used in a spell back type of role. I think that would be exciting, fun. It doesn't put too much on his plate, but it gives him the opportunity to really make a difference, especially having a guy like him on the field. It's going to cause confusion, mismatches in our advantage. I appreciate the kind words, Radio Pastor. Absolutely. This is always fun to do. What's up, CC? Hope you're doing well. Maya, as always. Let's see what else we got here. Ooh, JB Smooth saying he's also like Percy Harvin. Yeah, Percy Harvin was a great weapon. I was going to say a great weapon. Sounding like a Looney Tune out here, right? Yeah, he was fantastic at the University of Florida, used in both of those ways, and with the Seattle Seahawks was used to torch my Denver Broncos in that 2013 Super Bowl. Hey, appreciate the love, Ron. Yeah, y'all tap that like button. Always means a lot. Thank you, Sir Ken, as always. Zion, I agree with you, though. I'd love for CU to go after another running back in the portal. We'll see if any of these kind of game-changing athlete guys enter the portal after the spring period. It'd be nice to go after another difference maker at the position, not just another guy. Zion, thank you. Yeah, Drelon is playing high school basketball. Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Stevie Davey. Thank you guys so much. That makes sense. And hey, that's awesome that he's getting out there still playing. I'm a big fan of guys being two-sport athletes. But I think, yeah, regardless, even if he's coming in over the summer, like, man, this guy's going to be great. I'm excited about him. Hey, thanks for the love, Paul Simmons. Always much love. So, yeah, we could have Drelon Miller kind of disguising as a running back / wide receiver, right? Or wide receiver / running back. And then we got Cam McHale, who can be that wide receiver / safety or kind of jack of all trades defensive back for us, which I think would be a lot of fun to see. So they're going to start off both of these guys at wide receiver, but I would not be surprised to see once they kind of get some of the playbook down, start to get comfortable, then they start taking on some of these other responsibilities that I think was a big reason why they wanted to come play here, is that they're going to be able to do multiple things. So Cam Michael playing a little bit of safety, Drelon Miller getting in the backfield. I mean, these guys are difference-making athletes, and yeah, I think we'll see flashes of this stuff their first year. But then, guys, after this 2024 season, you have Will Shepard, Travis Hunter, Jimmy Horn, and probably LeJontay Wester all gone to the NFL draft. Then we got guys such as Omarion Miller. We got Baby T.O., Cordell Russell. And then we got guys like Cam McHale and Drelon Miller. I mean, that's your next 4 deep right there in 2025. Those are going to be the guys that our next starting quarterback is going to be relying on, which all those guys are freaking jacked. They're huge. They're all 6 foot plus, right? With speed and power. East Coast Kev, we also need 2 more defensive tackles. Agreed with you. Yeah, we'll see who hits the portal. And guys, I think it was I'm trying to remember who brought it up. Something Wade. Is it D Wade on Twitter? He brought up the fact this is weird that we have Jack Wilty still on the spring roster, but he entered the portal. Now, I did talk to somebody. I guess I should. Maybe I could. I don't know. I got to confirm this with another source, I guess I would say. I rarely do this kind of stuff, right? But they say you should have kind of 2 sources confirm this, okay, right? That Jack Wilty isn't going to be on the team. But that's what I've heard. All right. And Tremaine Young, don't be surprised if they do not let them play. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that these guys are going to be out here getting 20, 30 targets this year unless injury happens again. We're so deep right now. But hey, if we're talking about this team being a bowl game, we should see the Buffs blow out some of these teams. Now, I'm not saying the majority of them, but my hope is that, and what I expect is that we should handle North Dakota State and Colorado State. We should not be letting the foot off the gas against Colorado State. And my hope is that we can get some of these other guys here, in here to take a handful of snaps and maybe have multiple drives there in the fourth quarter. I think that would be great. And then depending on situation throughout the remainder of the year, seeing these guys get on the field. So that's my hope. But I think you're right, Tremaine. Let's not go out jumping the gun on this, saying that these guys are going to be big time producers, the main impact players for us this year. No. Agreed with you there. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Adam Hopkins, another great athlete that I'm hoping now having a full year to devote to training as a corner, that we're going to see him earn some time this year. I mean, I would love to see what he could do. Maybe he's able to overtake some of the other guys on the depth chart, like Omarion Cooper or something like that, like a veteran guy that we got on the roster. I mean, wouldn't that be a really great surprise if we have somebody who's elevated their game to being better than Omarion Cooper, who I feel like is a pretty solid cornerback for being a third or fourth boundary corner, right? So, yeah, I would love to see that. Adam Hopkins, I think, what is he, 6 foot, 6'1", so good size for a corner. All of our corners are like 6 foot and above. Paul Simmons saying, I wonder if the Big 12 is making offers to Oregon State, Washington State. Those schools walked away from the Pac-12 with a $200 million payout. Very interesting. I haven't really been following much of that at all. But what I will say is I don't want them in the Big 12. I don't want them. I'm sick of them traveling out there. I'm sick of stupid ass trips out to Corvallis. Nobody cares to travel up there at all. They're small schools. I know that we got some, a few Beaver fans that hang out here, but done with Pullman, done with Corvallis. Like, I don't want to be traveling out there. And I don't think, regardless of what the numbers, might say for certain things, I think like are they really going to bring that much viewership long term to help enhance the league? I don't think so. And it only makes the conference, in my opinion, it dilutes the conference more. That's just my opinion. I'm done with those trips out there. I'm sorry, that's how it is. I wish we had more regionality when it comes to college sports, but that's just not the era that we're in right now. Maybe one day we'll divert back to it once everything just merges together apart from the NCAA, right? But I'm done with Washington State. I'm done with Oregon State. I never want to play them again. Yeah, Oregon State and Wazoo, welcome to the Mountain West Conference. And they shouldn't even be too upset about it because for at least the next few years with the college football playoff, right? I mean, they're like honorary members of the Mountain West. So if they win that conference, they get an automatic bid to the college football playoff now, which is dumb, but that's great for them. That's another $30 million or $10 million, whatever the payout is. I totally forget what it's expected to be, but that's wonderful stuff. So last year, I think we averaged around 27 or 28 points. I think that, yeah, my expectation is that we definitely get into the 30s with how many points we score. I don't know if we're going to get as high as like, high 30s or anything like that, but somewhere, 30 plus, I totally agree with you, Zion. That should be the goal, and that's what my hope is. And with an improvement from the defense, again, if we can just have an average defense within the FBS and average defense within the Big 12, I think that we're going to win a lot of games. Jimmy needs to work on his agility. You barely touch him and he quickly goes to the ground, man. You have to be able to break tackles and juke defenders in the open field. We did see some of that stuff from Jimmy, but I agree with you, Tremaine. I'd like to see more of it as well. I think that I do wonder how much that hamstring really hindered him because, again, I still feel like he pops off the tape more with what he was doing at USF compared to just how he looked at Colorado this past year. So hopefully he's fully healthy now and he's continuing to improve. Again, these are young guys, in their early 20s, some of them. And so there's still plenty of room for them to make significant jumps with their athleticism, speed, agility, all that, as long as they're continuing to put in the work day in and day out. East Coast Kev, FanDuel, Colorado has Colorado only winning 5.5 games, easy money. Yeah, I'm going to be putting the over on that. And again, I'm still going to be putting like $100 or something like that on the national championship odds. I think they're still around the plus 30,000, which is insane. So, hey, say everything goes right for Colorado. Got a little bit of money on that scenario to where you can take $100, turn it into 30,000. Hey, sounds nice, right? Sounds nice. Hey, got a little down payment, in this crazy real estate market, right? That would be nice. And you bring up a great point here, Tremaine. Weaver was by far our most dynamic playmaker at the return position last year. Who is going to replace him? Could that be Wester? Could that be one of these other guys on the team that is a little bit more young? Dylan Edwards. Could we see a guy that I had wondered, and we'll see if he sticks around. I hope so, because I'd like to see what he can do. Asad Wasim. We didn't get to see what he could do. So it's going to be interesting to see who ends up returning punts and kicks for us this year with Weaver gone, for sure. Yeah, let's go. East Coast Kev dropping 500 on CU to win the title. Yeah, as we say on Rawhide, that's some serious XFL money right there. So, yeah, I love it. So that's like what, a 15 or not 15, 150K with those odds that I just said, if those remain true. Man, I love it. But yeah, guys, like this whole sports stuff's supposed to be fun, man. So, I might not think logically, if I try and separate my emotion and all this stuff from it, it's like, I don't think that, we have a likelihood of winning the national title this year, but you bet your ass I'm going to be putting a little bit of money on that for the scenario that plays out. Absolutely. And then all y'all in here on the chat can have your day saying you guys were calling it. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat, East Coast Kev. Always appreciative of it. Jacob Everson. I am middle linebacker, 6'5", 255. Athletic, build, strong, fast. Well, hey, go and tag Coach Riz, Devin Rispris on Twitter. Go and tag Corey Phillips, Carl Durrell. Why Am I forgetting his son's first name? It's not Cameron. Come on now. I should know this. Wow. His name is skipping my mind right now. But yeah, why don't you go tag everybody with your tape, man? That's what all the kids do these days. I'd offer you if I could, but I am in no way, shape, or form connected to this team. But yeah, I like the fact that you're 6'5". I don't like short people on college football teams. So you meet the height standard. Let's go. Offer him Dave. I just about did. All right, y'all are saying LeJounte and Jimmy at kick return, LeJounte at punt returner. I'm totally fine with that. We should get at least 7 wins, no doubt. What's up, Dave? What do you think about the new wide receivers coach, Jason Phillips? I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And let's talk about this because given more time to think about this, kind of hear everybody else's thoughts, sit with it for a little bit. I think some of you guys have made some good points, and this is how I see the whole thing after this whole Shador comment that he had at the Super Bowl radio row about the option routes. I do wonder if the way that I was inferring this is that some of our wide receivers weren't making the right reads out there. And I wonder if that's why we brought Jason Phillips in, guy who's not only played in the NFL and CFL, has coached in the NFL, CFL, college, all that, a little bit more experienced from a coaching perspective as well, and hopefully is going to get these guys right with making the right reads. I talked with Stephen Hamner of QB Spotlight a little bit off camera the other day. He was kind of talking about, and he might have put a video out about this, about how, you do have option routes of certain difficulties or certain complexity levels at the high school, college, and NFL level. So it's not that I feel like Pat Shurmur is going to get rid of everything that we're doing option routes, but maybe have things simplified a little bit more to where the wide receivers and our quarterbacks can be on the same page. For some reason, they weren't on the same page last year, and Shador wasn't comfortable that he could trust these guys to make the same reads that he was making. So I think that Jason Phillips is brought in to hopefully, teach some of that aspect a little bit better. And I'm glad we didn't let go of Bartoloni, because I still feel like he's a very promising young coach. And I would still say that he is the offensive play caller, offensive coordinator in waiting whenever Pat Shurmur decides to move on. So that's kind of how I see things. I think that he's going to see, or I think he's going to give us some improvement, some development here at the wide receiver position. And I think when you're recruiting top guys like Cam McHale, Drelon Miller, Baby T.O. to come over here from TCU, right? And we're always going to recruit these tight ends very highly. We need somebody, again, that has been there at the NFL level, that has been a veteran coach, that understands what these guys need and what they're looking for. I still feel like Brett might just be a little, he's just a little less seasoned than somebody like Jason Phillips. And so I like that move. I like that transition. I'm not saying that Brett Bartoloni did a bad job last year, but I'm just saying that I feel like Jason Phillips can provide probably some more wisdom because he is a more experienced coach in that room. And right now that's a position of strength for us. It's a position of strength that we're able to recruit. And so you need a coach who definitely knows what's going on to the fullest extent. So I really like the fact that we brought him in, and he's going to really help us with recruiting Big 12 country, because he spent a lot of his career in the South, in the Southwest, all of that, Oklahoma, Texas. And you guys said it well, Brady, here. Bartoloni also has a lot of recruiting power. You're absolutely right. And that's why I want to see him continue to stay on this staff. I think that I don't think the move to tight end coach should be looked at as a bad thing at all. I think it's going to be very beneficial because we keep a good recruiter, a guy who has play calling experience, a guy who has called plays. And I do think that he is somebody that we hopefully see develop and spend a long time here at CU, continuing to work his way up the ranks and become that offensive coordinator in waiting for us. Hey, appreciate the kind words. Yeah, it feels good to finally get all that mess cut off my hair. So if y'all are looking for a barber in the Front Range area, hit up Tony Blends on Twitter. He's been cutting my hair for 6 years now. So great stuff out here. Guys, I gotta call it quits now. Sorry that this is a little bit shorter of a stream, but really appreciative of everybody who has come in to join the conversation. I always love doing this with you guys. So hit that like on the way out. Help spread this out to other Buffs fans. We're on our way to 7,000 subscribers, which is just insane. So guys, please let me know in the comments on the replay what your thoughts are on Drelon Miller, about the versatility, about the type of athletes that we're bringing in here to Boulder this year. It's a wonderful thing. Coach Prime is kicking butt along with the rest of the staff. So y'all have a wonderful day. Enjoy it. And as always, everybody, Sco Buffs.